Hello, my name is Shaman Ahuja. I'm the Deputy CEO of Optym. We are a transportation logistics optimization company, and we've been around for over 20 years. And I'm here with our new Chief Strategy Officer, Chris Torrence.
Thanks, Shaman. First of all, it's day one, so great to be here. Yeah, I appreciate the introduction. Like I said, it is my first day, but I'm certainly no stranger to the industry which we play in, which is typically the logistics and supply chain software space. And after 20 some odd years in this lovely industry and having scaled some pretty cool companies, I'm extremely excited to take this next adventure with Optym. I'm super excited about what the future holds for the organization. Hope to be a major contributing factor to the growth. So yeah, excited.
So Optym was actually founded by my dad over 20 years ago. I interned back in high school, and then eventually it grew to be, I gained a little bit more skills as an entrepreneur, as a computer scientist, and I was able to contribute to the organization, building out our airline suite, and then now our truckload suite. So I know what drew me to the organization because my dad started it. I would love to hear what drew you to the organization.
Thankfully, haphazard landed logistics. And for people that don't know the story, I watched Top Gun as a kid and wanted to be a fighter pilot for many years and ended up going in the Air Force, but had a slight color blindness issue, which prevented me from the government allowing me back of a $30 million aircraft. So they asked me what I thought about global logistics and supply chain. And so that was the genesis. Spent over a decade at the 3BL behemoth known as C.H. Robinson. Worked at a bunch of Fortune 100 shippers, wanted to learn that space through their TMC, the TMS division. Was thankfully tapped to help launch that thing called Uber Freight. Think we might have flying trucks by now. But that was a super cool transition from a corporate environment over into startups. And honestly, Shaman, once I got a taste of the startup world, I don't know that I could ever go back to the traditional corporate American side. So I help another company. I'm based in Chicago, so help another company called Fork Heights get off the ground a bit and scale through their Series C funding, and they've done fairly well. Spent another time down here in Texas in Austin at a brokerage called Arrive, and then as you know, my last gig was at a company called Optym Dynamics, which specialized in an AI modeling, a field called sequential decision analytics. I think I've gotten, thankfully, to see a lot of how the industry's evolved over the years, namely from a tech side, and how especially in the last 5 years, the amount of interest from the investment community, from private equity, venture capital, the Silicon Valley movement, right? We're seeing a whole lot of investment. But what I'm always looking for is what is the next big thing? So when I think about what Optym's doing, which is different than some of these companies that I've seen come on the map that have raised tremendous amounts of capital, perhaps without having as much capital pumped into the product as they have in their sales and marketing, that can be somewhat of a slippery slope, right? So when I started meeting with the father, Ravi, and I learned that he's taken zero outside funding to date. He's built, revenue generating business over the last 20 years. I felt that, wow, what a change, a company that actually figured out product market fit. They got their product figured out, but maybe where they were lacking is what I love to do, which is evangelize companies I think are on a great thing. So I'm super excited to finally be at the C-suite. Again, this has been a career progression for me as well. And I love strategy, and I think I've been around long enough to see what works, what doesn't, and also wear a commercial hat and many other hats, to be honest with you. But again, super excited about what the future holds at Optym.
So it's exciting opportunity for us, and I think also an exciting opportunity for you to really have that technical backing, those 20 years of industry, like creating tech for the transportation industry, backed by another 2 decades of academic research in your back pocket.
Yeah, and as I often say, people that know me will say, my personal belief and my philosophy when it comes to tech and, is how do we harmonize the human capital side, which I feel in this industry is not going anywhere. But I do think there are certain functions and tasks and repeatable, redundant type tasks that machines that are just, let's be honest, they're just better at solving, right? They have the computational skills. I think companies are realizing there are better ways to deploy human capital. But for when you're a tech vendor like us, how do you convince those folks, those end users, as we say, that, hey, technology is meant to make your life better. AI can make your life better. And as I always say as well, like technology's been making certain human tasks redundant since the beginning of time, yet here we are, right? So I think there's a whole nother world of opportunity for us to hone in on different skill sets and again, leveraging the power of the machines, but never for a moment forgetting that the human brain is the creativity that comes with that, the amount of nuance that's stored in those users' heads, especially in a field like logistics, is certainly just invaluable at this point in time. So
absolutely. I mean, I'm excited because I, much like my dad, like solving difficult problems. And I have a bit of an ego myself, so I don't want to say I can't solve it. So I want to thank you, and I'm excited to partner with you to make some waves in this industry.
Likewise. Thanks, Shaban.